23, we'll do roll call here. Al's not here. Barb?
Here.
John's here. Mindy?
Here.
Adam? Lee?
Here.
Is there a motion and approval for the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any changes or anything anybody wants to see? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion for the approval of the minutes from our January 18th meeting. Second?
Second. Are you seconding?
No.
A second.
I mean, it's fun to second.
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Adam, second by Barb. Any comments on those minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. This is the agenda spot in our meeting where any members of the public have something they'd like to talk to us about that aren't on the agenda. Please feel free. Anybody? Is everybody on there? All right. Please step on up and state your name for us, please.
Will you push that button,
Yeah.
please? Yeah. And your address?
Yep.
Did you turn that on? Oh, perfect.
Okay. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
All right. Thank you for your patience.
Wow. Okay, thank you for doing that. Again, my name is Mike Burks. I actually live in Garrettson, but I'm doing some work for Brandon Wellness, and I thought that I would take a few minutes. It's been a little while since we've talked about Brandon Wellness, so I wanted to just update everybody. Things are moving really good, and so I thought every so often I would just show up here just to give you about a 5-minute brief, just so you know what's going on in the project and that type of thing. So anyway, some highlights. Just wanted to tell you that we're officially recognized as a nonprofit, which if you try to do that at all, it takes forever. And you know, our president is a pastor, so maybe some prayers work there or something, but I'm not sure. But we got that taken care of. Then we also are members now of the Brandon Valley Chamber of Commerce. We just finished putting together a 24-page master plan that we developed ourselves. And then we also went out to 3 other companies that we're talking to, and they've put together a master plan. And we actually just made a decision on which company to go with, and we'll be announcing that on our website. But anyway, we're excited about that because finally, for all the time and the amount of effort and the meetings and on, it's been crazy. But we're pretty excited about that. So highlights as well. I met with Scott Carroll, who was with the Special Olympics. And so we talked about what they'd like to see at the facility. And so we had one design and we looked at that together, and he said, well, I like to have this. And so we just modified that as well. So they're very excited because their primary things are basketball, bowling, and track. And so two of those three, they'd be able to use our facility and it'd all be centrally located so they could watch everybody right at the same time. So they're very excited about that. So no bowling alley. Not yet. Who knows? So, but 2 out of 3, you know, so that's not too bad. But I didn't know that there are 82 chapters of Special Olympics in this state. And yeah, I had no idea there was that much. But anyway, these are the local people and, you know, it's a very exciting time for them. So they love the idea, they'll have a place where they can go, they can do their functions and so on. I've also met with Craig Nelson, who, if you don't know, does most of the basketball in the area. And it was quite funny. I went in to see him at his office at the high school, and I showed him kind of what we're looking at, and then he brought in his coaches, and they all sat there for an hour, and they were designing how they wanted it to look, which is ultimately what we want. So anyway, spent a good time doing that. He also goes to my church, so I see him all the time. But he's excited about that opportunity as well. And for basketball, again, something I didn't know, is that there's like 50 families that get up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and they drive to Hartford so they can play. And he's like, now it'd be right here. So he's very excited about moving forward in that. So we have a partnership with Special Olympics, partnership with basketball. Soccer still continues to be a great partner as well. So we're looking forward. We have a number of more meetings set up with other associations, and we're excited moving forward.
So Mike, what is the website?
BrandonWellness.com. Bring that up anytime. It'll tell you everything about us, what we're doing, all our partners, any information you want. We update it every week.
You guys have done a tremendous amount of work.
So, yeah, but it's nice to see we're kind of on the other side of that right now. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. So, any other questions?
No, not for me. Thank you for the update.
Sure.
Congratulations on the nonprofit status.
And like I said, I might show up occasionally just to let you know where we're at.
Okay, thanks,
All right.
Mike.
Thank you.
Everybody else is here for agenda items, right? Okay. All right, with that, we'll move on to item number 6, Miles for Mutts 2023. The illustrious Jamie.
6th annual. Do you want my address? Jamie Smid, 205 South Sunshine here in Brandon. I am seeking approval with Anytime Fitness to put on our 6th annual Miles for Mutts. Again, we'd like to have it at Aspen Park on Sunday, May 7th. The race is scheduled to start at 9 a.m. with registration prior to that around 8 a.m. And usually, like past years, we would expect to be out of there by 11 a.m. noon time frame. So kind of that Sunday morning reservation. All of the profits go to B Squad, a local dog rescue here in town. Last year we had it on probably the worst day of spring that we could have. It was about, I think the feel like temp was like 26 and it was very windy and very cold. But of our roughly 400 people that pre-registered, I think about 100 of them actually showed up. So they were the diehards. But we were still able to raise about $15,000 in funds. So we'll hope for a nicer spring day this year and another successful year. As far as like the race route goes, we're still planning the same route. So start and finish at Aspen. It's a big square. So east down Aspen, then turn and go north on Split Rock, and west down Holly, and south on Main to come right back and finish at Aspen Park. So,
Devin, any comments from last year?
Nope, everything's good from our end, so we're good with it.
Any other questions for Jamie? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
thank you guys.
All right.
Jamie?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thanks for coming in, Jamie. You don't have to hang around if you don't want. You don't feel like you're. Yeah, no, we won't.
We'll go on the Tuesday night's council meeting, so
the calendar's still on 2022, so, you know.
Let me, can I email you? I will double check.
If not, we can,
I just have to make sure one of my sisters can cover me at the gym, but
if not,
I'll
I,
shoot you an
if not, I can do
thank you guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
All right, item number 7 is the Hockey Association update.
I think you turned it off. Yeah, there you go.
My name is Tom Grunick, 1901 South Archstone Circle in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm the president of the Hockey Association. I'm coming forward to you guys to have approval of the plans to start to build the rink down at the park area. We're ready to move forward. I guess I'm a little ill-prepared. I thought it was just a one-on-one.
Oh,
we're not mean.
No. So far,
well, most of
haven't.
us.
Yeah.
This has been a long time coming, and now we're ready to go, start moving forward. We have enough money to move forward on the project. We're going to do a staged approach, and then, hopefully we start breaking ground this year.
So Tammy, are we okay with where we're at? Devin?
I'll let Tammy and Patrick kind of handle this end.
Yep, so there's a few things that need to be done before they could start. A couple updates on Aspen Park this last year. You know, we did some kind of cleanup. We were trying to do some extra grading. We had a lot of extra topsoil and whatnot that we took out of other reconstruction projects and stockpiled on there because we knew we were going to have some projects where we needed to do the grading and kind of raise the ground a little bit on that south end. For the RC track area, new area, proposed area, we had to cut down some of that a couple feet, and we actually ran into a lot of garbage. And so we spent most of our money trying to clean that mess up because there were toilets and hot water heaters and all kinds of stuff out there that was just buried along that west fence line that we didn't know about. So we got a lot of that cleaned up. We did the grading work for the RC track. We got their new pad placed out there. The material that we're actually excavating from the water treatment plant, we thought we were gonna have to waste some of that, but it turns out it's really good gravel material, so we're gonna use that for the parking area around the new RC track. So hopefully they can move that, and then we can kind of repair the existing fence and whatnot for the dog park. Ironwood is still on hold. We do have that completely designed out. I'm assuming that council will talk about that again in the CIP process, which will be starting here in the next few months. And what else I forget? Oh, we're doing a stormwater study on Aspen Park too because we are diverting a lot more stormwater in that area. As we redo like the core area, a lot of that water is now being directed to Aspen Park, and we know that we don't have an outlet to those ponds. So we are working on a few plans for figuring out how much stormwater they need. So these guys are way on that south end, and so we're kind of working through a couple different engineering firms to make sure that, you know, their building height and everything meets requirements so that we know that we're not going to flood them out at some point either. A couple of things is maybe you want to give an update on your existing facility that's over by McCarty Park and kind of the plan on that, and then when you guys would want to go into Aspen Park.
Yeah, so you all know that we have two rinks down there, the public one and then the refrigerated one. Our plan was to remove everything down there that is not required by the city. I think the Parks Department wants maybe some of the poles and lights remained. We can just talk to them about that, but if this project moves forward this year, which we hope, we'll start to tear down the non-refrigerated rink, maybe this year, and then once we'll play this coming season, which would be this fall of 2023 down there. We're projecting the building will take at least the end of next year into parts of the 2024 year. Yeah, so we will have to keep some of that down there to play this coming season in 23, into 23. So our plan is to try to remove that other rink so that we kind of get a jump on it to help facilitate the next rink. And then the refrigeration rink, we talked to Spearfish. They're interested in buying that whole facility, the chiller, the boards, the tubing, everything down there. So we should be able to clean it up 100%. Other
And you
than
wouldn't
the
have an
boards.
outdoor rink once the building is built?
No.
Okay.
We're just trying to recoup some of that money that we have dumped into that other rink, and that's what the plan was, to do that. It could always change, but that's what the plan is as of now. So,
So it sounds like you've got some stuff to do. What's your timeline for that?
We are hoping we're gonna meet their timeline. So I think we'll wrap up that stormwater study, and then we have a couple meetings on that, which we'll have to go through council with. And then, there's a few minor things to figure out, like snow removal. I mean, the road going down to their facility is still gravel. We do store a lot of snow down there now, so there's a few things that city staff needs to probably sit down and probably work through. There's some zoning code stuff that needs to be done. I'll let Patrick explain some of that.
So, I probably haven't met most of you. I'm the development director for the city. John and I corresponded when I was in my last role with CCOG, the River Greenway grant thing that we worked through. So, I'm here now, so get to talk about planning and zoning. So, at a staff level, we talked about every use requires it to comply with zoning. In our commercial district, we have what's called a commercial recreation facility. The problem there is that it requires both something to be operated as a business and open to public for a fee. It probably meets the last part, but since you are a nonprofit, you're not necessarily operating as a business, so it doesn't squarely fit in there. And if you go to the institutional district, which Aspen Park is, it doesn't squarely fit into any of the uses there, since it's not a governmental building or facility, and it's not squarely public park. Since you are a nonprofit, you are not public government. So what's before you, and I can give you this one and I can grab another one, is what I wrote down in 10 minutes of trying to come up with a title, Sports Venue Event Center, and I came up with a definition, and hopefully this meets both your requirements and the Wellness Center, but we'll probably have to work a little bit with the Wellness Center to get a use that works. I can give you that to look at. I'm grabbing one from the back.
So Patrick, does this needs to go to P and Z then?
Correct.
Okay.
my understanding is that we get to have approval from you, and then tomorrow we have to have approval from the planning and zoning, and then the city council, and then we move forward with an MOU and a
So,
use agreement.
unfortunately, in zoning, there are permitted and conditional uses. This currently has the sports venue event center as a conditional use as the first start of the draft. That is because there are properties that are institutional that are owned by the city, but there are also properties not owned by the city that are institutional. The church, the school, all sorts of things around town aren't necessarily controlled by the city, so this is all, of course, up to how we want to flesh it out. But as a starting point, say the church wanted to sell its land and set up a facility. Would we want that to be a permitted use just from a city standpoint? So, or would you like a little bit more control? So that's why it's written that way. And hopefully the definition works, but we'll probably have to work a little bit with the Wellness Center. We'd probably modify the commercial rec facility to have we'll work on it to not necessarily, we'll work with that definition to make it work. But I just wanted to give you all a first stab at things to look over.
Thanks, Patrick. Tammy, on the So with their potential completion date being at the end of 2024, I'm assuming there's a little chance that we get Ironwood done by then. Unless council like pulls a
Yeah.
bunny out of their hat.
So, design and everything is done. Once council says, yeah, move forward, we can bid it out, and it wouldn't take very long to construct it, but I don't really see it being in the budget this year, but again, that's up to council. They'll have to decide that. So it wouldn't be for 2022. If they decided to move forward, then it would be for 2023. So, that would be best case. I don't think it's gonna be done.
For construction in '24.
No, I would think we could bid it out right away, because we got design plans and everything done. So,
Right, but we could still bid it out a year from now and have it built and open by the time their facility opens, in theory.
we could, if council wanted to move forward.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We could bid it out tomorrow if we wanted to.
sorry to interrupt, but they said it at end, or the beginning of 2024, so it'd be end of 23, beginning of 24. Potentially, the building might be open,
Okay.
depending on contractors.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So you're
Sorry.
looking at less than a year construction?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said it was going to be done in phases. What part of the building is phase one?
The first phase is the main building, and then the actual ice sheet inside. It'll be a full concrete inside rink and outside. And the boards are removable. The boards were donated from Sioux Falls last year or 2 years ago, I think. They were the ones at the Denny Sanford. They got new boards. They donated them to us,
Okay.
the old ones. They are removable, so we can pull them out to have events down there for our future during the summer and stuff. Because the ice will go in the fall and then come out in the
Spring?
spring. Yeah, we won't be down there in the summertime.
Okay.
At least not for the first couple of years, that's what we're thinking.
So the sheet in the building, the frame basically is phase one?
Yeah, and then
And
some of the interior
Okay.
locker rooms and then the Zamboni area and stuff like that.
Okay.
There's another building to the north, it's like a lean-to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second phase, which is the main entryway or the hallway. We were gonna maybe talk to the wellness group because they were talking about maybe joining forces to, modify that design if need be.
Okay.
That'll accommodate the main entrance and then all the bathrooms,
Okay,
so.
okay.
So who is the point person for the city to be working with hockey? Is it Patrick or you, Tammy, or who's, or,
I think it's gonna be all of the above. So when we start talking about zoning and when you're talking about signs and sponsorships and that sort of thing, that's gonna be a lot of Patrick. As far as like site review, that's probably gonna be more me. We have some challenges with sewer and whatnot out there, and so they're gonna have to put in a holding tank for the time being and that sort of thing. And then trying to organize it around Devin's schedule and what he sees going on out there. So we have a lot of steps to work through, but hopefully we can just keep it moving forward, because the MOU, I think, would probably be the next step in front of this board.
The reason why we're ready to go and we want to get out of the area where we're at, we had some bad experiences there. Nothing against the city, but it's not a great location for a non-flooding area. So if we can get out of there as quick as we can, and that's what we're,
Well, and
Pushing
it's
for it.
better for games too. I get the whole outside hockey experience, but we played there when it was 20 below zero, and it was not a pleasant experience for anybody. But, I understand that, so I'm excited. This is will be an awesome addition to the city.
so I'm not sure that we officially need a motion or anything for this right now, do we? Because ultimately, it's in the master plan. They're proposing a prescribed use. We just need to, and the master plan's been approved, so,
Maybe approve their concept plan. As far as like where it's located in the park, that does match the master plan.
okay.
But that way they have something to say, okay, park board looked at it, now it can go to P&C.
Okay.
I would make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Right, motion by Minnie, second by Adam. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thanks for coming in. We
Thank you.
really appreciate it.
You bet, thank you.
I have to give you guys an A+ for perseverance.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? So congratulations.
Thanks, Tom.
I'm glad to see the Chase the Ace thing is still going on too.
Yes, it's actually,
Up to about 20,000 now? So that's awesome.
yeah, I haven't hit it yet, so.
No, I've tried.
So do I.
Okay, with that approval, we're on to item number 8, 2023 projects update. Devin.
How long have you been working on it?
In your packet, you should have had 2023 parks projects, kind of a little list. That's just kind of where we're at for now. So the pool lights, I'm working with MC&R and getting those replaced. Those are the lights inside the pool, the underwater lights. They're all
Thanks, Mike.
in
Thanks for coming.
rough shape. Refurbishing Pioneer restroom. I am all set to get a kind of a quote list out to contractors. Start moving from there. I don't have anyone in particular picked out yet, but
So you're gonna keep the building, just
Yes.
rehab it, so to speak?
yep. Yep, so basically, everything goes. It'll be all new, everything but the concrete structure and the roof. Everything else inside, outside, new paint, fixtures, plumbing, everything else will be new.
Are we gonna put some cameras on it, Devin?
Cameras, I hadn't planned to.
Well, the only reason I say that is, remember, as soon as we did it where at Tallgrass, they scratched up the doors.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know that it's worth it, but that, I don't know if you can catch anything, but that
Yeah.
really ticked me off.
Right, no, that seems to happen every time we do any kind of a new surface to,
And realistically, I think we should be putting cameras at all the parks.
yeah,
I mean, along the, not only pointing at the buildings, but pointing at the equipment, just to make sure, if someone is damaging the equipment that makes it unsafe, we would, it'd be nice to know who that is. Some of those shelters,
you know,
those can get damaged. With the capabilities now that are out there for Wi-Fi security, there shouldn't be a reason why we're not trying to incorporate that into all of those parks.
Are they expensive?
Not for the most part.
I can start to look into that if you guys want me to.
I just think it's a good CYA.
Okay,
I wish we didn't have to. But
then Tallgrass parking lot, that pervious payment, Tammy is working on that. The Aspen path, we have a kind of a rough layout of where we want the path to go, how much we have. Now we just gotta get it to
We'll give it to DGR.
DGR. And they can kind of come up with a price for what we got, and then we'll have to scale it down from there. We're gonna be way over, but we'll see how far we can get.
Well, was softball gonna pay for some of that?
I don't remember. They've mentioned
No?
it multiple times, but
Okay.
I don't believe so.
yeah, I'll double check with them, but I don't think so. The Aspen parking lot improvement one. That one could go a number of ways, I guess, we've talked about. We could use it, I think originally it was meant to do remember what Jack Parliament had talked about, removing the trees and paving that one side of the road. I don't know if that's necessarily what we want to do anymore, but we talked about putting it towards the moving of the RC track and then converting that to the dog park. We could use it there. Depending on how these other projects fall out, we could use it if we have a shortfall somewhere else also. So we're kind of going to leave that one maybe up in the air for a minute and see what happens with some of the other projects.
I'd really like to propose that if there's some left over there, that we kind of throw it at the RC track, because we have the pad there and they can start moving stuff. And we think that we have a donation for the fence, which would leave the existing fence for the dog park, but they still need electricity. And so it's gonna take us a little bit to get power out there. And then they want that to run all the way around their track too, so that they can back up to the fence. And that's gonna be kind of the expensive part. But I think that 35,000 or whatever would really get us a long ways to getting that done so that they could move. But that's just my 2 cents.
Then the tall grass playground that is happening, basically what they told me is as soon as the ground thaws out and our snow is gone. I don't know when that's gonna be, but someday. Yep. And then the last thing on there was the equipment at Loader. We already have that purchased and we've been using it. So that's kind of the update.
So the tall grass playground and surfacing, are we $120,000 over budget? Because it said 150 and then the contract is 270. I'm just trying to verify that we stayed under budget or that we're within budget.
We're within budget. I don't know why I have that written that way. No, I don't think they did. They were supposed to possibly ship the equipment, but they never did. So we didn't pay anything for last year. I'll double check, but we haven't paid anything and we're still on track for that one.
So then, in our CIP for 2024, we really have nothing, right? At least at this point. We'll be looking at it this summer, and our sales tax revenue has been really good. So I would say that, if Park Board makes a push, maybe we could get some for something. I don't know what our next priority is, but it doesn't have to all go to streets.
So I had 23,000 we were going to be allotted in 2024. Is that right?
Like I said,
What'll that get us? Oh, nothing. Nothing. Maybe. 23,000, what's that gonna get us?
so, all right. Thank you for the update, Devin. I guess in regards to the Aspen parking project and that funding, I think it makes sense to kind of hold fire, see how some of these things develop and kind of readdress maybe what's going to happen with that, like if it goes towards the RC track relocation, and because we appreciate some of the flexibility and work that you've done being creative in the park and getting some of the planned things done that we didn't necessarily have budget for. So I think we can certainly look at, and that parking project was a product of your recommendation anyways, coming from engineering and conversations with council. So I think it makes sense to kind of look at that.
Well, and I don't think we paid hardly anything when they put in the RC track. So we have not had any expenses for that really. I mean, other than just probably some minor stuff.
Yeah, no, it was the same deal. We got them water and power, and then they did the rest.
Okay, I guess please keep this on the agenda and let's just keep doing rolling updates as we go through our next few months of meetings.
What do you remember? What would our next priorities be? I don't even remember. Where do we need to work on next? Do you have it? I don't remember.
Okay. While Tammy's looking that up, let's move on to item number 9, and then we can jump back to the projects update. Number 9 is the City of Brandon 50th anniversary celebration.
So this summer, what is the date for that? July 21st through the 23rd, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is when we're going to do our Brandon's 50th birthday, anniversary, whatever you want to call it. The 21st through the 23rd, I think. Is that a Friday through a Saturday, Sunday? July? Yeah.
Yes.
So there's been a couple meetings so far with a small group, just trying to come up with events, locations, things like that. I don't know what they wanted to, so basically what the park department, what we're gonna try to do is line up a scavenger hunt and I think also a disc golf tournament. And then there's gonna be a few, I'll run down the little list of what's gonna happen. So Hometown Days they're gonna have it on the same date, and they're gonna be at the middle school, is what they're shooting for. They're gonna do a picnic Friday night at McCarty Park. The scavenger hunt is supposed to be Friday, Saturday, and that's gonna be kinda at all parks and around town, random locations. They wanna do some tethered hot air balloon rides. I'm not sure if that's gonna be at Pioneer Park. Trying to put together a walk-run race. They got a poker run going on. Hometown Day is going to have like the touch a truck equipment display type of thing for kids. They're going to do another like a rib cook-off Saturday night at McCarty. Trying to put together a car show. I don't think they have anybody yet to organize that. Friday night at McCarty, they're also going to do a trivia and a movie night in conjunction with the picnic. What else was there? I think someone was going to try to put together a 7-on-7 football mini tournament at the high school. Yeah, that's kind of what we're sitting with for now. I think we have another meeting scheduled for probably the 27th, I'm guessing. If anybody would like to attend or volunteer to help out with anything or do any of that kind of stuff. So I think that's where we're sitting. But I'm going to try to get the Boy Scouts involved. I figure they can maybe help with the scavenger hunts and things like that. So unless you guys have any questions, comments.
Thank you for participating in that and helping organize it.
When was the meeting date again?
I think they're shooting for the off Mondays of council meetings. So I think the next one will be the 27th. But I'm not positive. And they were here, and this last one was at 7 o'clock. But I'll let you know if you're interested when they send out the meeting minutes.
I heard vice principals have lots of free time in the summer.
Yeah, connections.
Just kidding. All right. Let's go to item number 10, and then we'll go back to the update. Tammy's still searching. So number 10 is tree board items.
Really nothing for tree board at this time of year, obviously, so I'll let you know. We'll keep it on, but probably won't be anything again until, you know, at some point in usually May or June. I go around and mark the trees for the area that we're going to do that year, measure them, and get a count and everything. And then we just kind of field phone calls for a while, and then the project will start again, you know, right after Labor Day typically. So that's kind of the next thing we'll have going.
Okay.
So did you find yours? I can have the one here.
Pretty much only have equipment money until 2027. The next
Yeah.
project would be Aspen Park.
But your wish list, Barb,
Yeah, what's our
was
wish list?
Aspen Park was 230 for an ADA pathway, update lights, irrigate fields, and add shade enclosures. 10,000 at McCarty Park for sponsored holiday lights. I have no idea what that was. Pretty sure that wasn't my idea. And then 10,000 for ongoing pool maintenance, and then equipment for 85,000 was a four-wheeler, a finish mower, a tractor, and a pickup.
So really nothing at like Van Buster, you know, some of our smaller parks, pretty much Aspen.
No, I think some of the smaller park stuff really related to trails, and, you know,
Yeah.
Tammy in the city was working on their pedestrian kind of master plan, bike master plan, and we were waiting to see what kind of all came out of that for priorities to incorporate.
We're gonna have to start planning for that park on the east side, right? Or the nature area, because that is coming up.
Right. So some of that will be the school's park that we were going to donate towards. I don't know if there's ever been a number discussed on that or not. I don't know what the school plans on yet. They haven't quite sent a site plan or anything for review. But I know they're working on it. And then whatever we do with our wetland bank, if we do build the wetland bank, we have to put a path, like a maintenance path all the way around it anyway. So we might as well make it a nice nature park that goes all the way from Aspen to Redwood, which would be a good safe routes to school plan and everything there too. So if we have to buy the land for the sewer anyway, we might as well make it into a wetland bank. We can sell or use our own credits. It'll save us money in the long run, and it'll be a nice amenity to Brandon.
Well, I think there was a plan, or supposed to be a plan, for a bike trail path from Aspen to Redwood once that school got going. There should have been a plan in the development for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we have kind of, Devin calls it that linear park, that goes past that church, yeah, Rochelle. And then that goes all the way to Sunshine, and then it has to jump across Sunshine, go down about 3 houses, and then it goes back behind everybody's houses around those cul-de-sacs. So we do have sidewalk easements and everything through there, but as we all know, those homes are up now, so putting anything in will still be a battle, even if they knew about it. But,
Oh, but that's where the easements are key.
yeah.
It's where, as long as we have the documentation in place, that we at
And-
least have a leg to stand on.
Right, and we own enough land outside of those easements too that we can make it work.
Besides, they yell at Devin about that stuff, so it's okay.
Yeah, just,
One of them's my sister, so.
So yeah, I think when it comes to that, Barb, you know, we just need to read the tea leaves and see what the budget's looking like. And then if there is perhaps funding that can come towards parks, we'll have to formulate our priorities and a game plan for lobbying council about what that should be. So,
I do plan to have a whole list of items and priorities for the bike and pedestrian plan in town. So I'll try to bring that to you first and then bring it to council to make sure that our priorities match.
thank you.
It hasn't been finalized yet, but the design standards, well, they came before council, but no decision, they haven't been approved, but in the design standards, we did put in the 5-foot sidewalks instead of 4-foot, which has been something that we've been wanting to do. I pushed back really hard on them, and I said, if anybody's got any heartburn, we want to hear about it now. We got nothing. So hopefully that will go through. Because the developers want it too. They want the 5-foot sidewalks. So we'll see.
Excellent work. Okay, thanks for digging that stuff out, Mindy. So I think that'll be our game plan for now. Devin, for our next meeting or meetings, one of those meetings, March, April, somewhere in there, it'd be nice to have our pool manager come and give us an update about staffing and game plan for the pool for the summer.
Do we have a manager?
I think Nick Mueller is doing it. He was the assistant manager last year. I think. I'll have to check with Christina though.
Yeah.
Because our head guy, I think, is leaving.
Yeah, Tyson's not coming back this year.
But that's
But
a good idea.
Nick's been there for quite a few years, so I'll double check and see if we can get him in.
Okay, thank you. I know the Mueller family have been longtime pool lifeguards, so,
Heather?
yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to see on upcoming meetings? Okay.
Well, so then, I don't know when we do the CIP list for the council. So we're gonna have to need to get out ahead of that with this group. so we'll have to watch that. I don't remember when we do it.
We keep kind of pushing it April, May-ish, sometime in there. We want to do it a little bit early, but
So we maybe should talk about that next meeting and put it on the agenda.
Okay. So, yeah, potential 2024 CIP project on the agenda.
'Cause if
Okay.
we don't push it, we won't
Yep.
get it.
Despite the promises. Okay.
We lost Jack, so he was a big advocate for us, so I'm not sure where the other ones stand, so.
I just think we need to formulate our game plan and then we'll just have to lobby, just like everybody else.
Yep.
Okay, our next meeting be, excuse me, so, again, March 15th. At 6:15, yes. And we'll, Devin, can you check in with Al and see how long he thinks that is? Because I know we're gonna run into problems come springtime, so.
And I will not be here next month, just so you know.
We will
Okay.
assign some wonderful duties.
So if you have something that you're thinking of for CIP, I guess let somebody know.
Right, is there a motion for adjournment?
I just have one question. With the water treatment, are all the baseball fields going to be functional this summer?
Yes, technically, field H will be much, much smaller. I don't exactly know what size yet, but once the contractors come in and do whatever excavation they have to do, we'll put up a fence there. So, and we pass that on to baseball, softball, and flag football, so they're aware of it. But I don't have a size yet. It'll be small. Just H, yep.
The Parks Department and Parks Board will do whatever we can to help get the water treatment plant complete.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
If we can throw some of our budget at you, just,
Yeah. Yeah. It goes so far these days.
okay, is there a motion for adjournment?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
You know, to get money, good to bring in kids with softball and baseball outfits on, we can do that. Our plan was, the sidewalks, if we were gonna have pushback, we were gonna